Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a live show about to happen, and you will be the witness.
Children of all ages.
You will see this thing happen live with us sitting here doing the show.
Happening now. Live.
Live!
For your enjoyment.
And hard drive. We are live. Twitch.
Hi.
Dot
Hi.
TV. Hi.
Hi.
I don't. We didn't plan on both wearing navy blue tonight, but we totally did.
Yeah, yeah.
We're like the twinsies over here.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
That's too funny.
I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah. I don't hate this.
So I got a message today. Carmen Gia sent me a message, and she says, "I really like Marconin. He's great." And I said, "Thank you. I agree."
Who's Carmen G?
Carmen Gia is she's on in Convert to Raid, and she's one of our greeters.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And she's like, I really like Marconin. I couldn't pick between the two of them, but I really like Marconin. That was awesome.
Well, awesome.
Hi, chat room. Hi,
hello,
Tiger
chat room.
Pod and
Hey,
Lord
Maslu.
Walker Maslu and everybody. Hi, guys. We're here.
Give you another close-up of my Lego DeLorean.
So
And you can see Doc and Marty in there.
So cool.
Let me get the door open too. Weep.
Oh, wow.
They did a really good job.
I like the vest.
Yeah, he's got the life. What'd you do? Jump ship? Your life preserver?
So tonight we introduced my stepdaughter to Stand By Me.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What'd you think?
I love. Well, she's like, that was really depressing, but it was really good.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's really depressing, but it was. I said I agree, but it was such a throwback. Like I hadn't seen it in so many years, and Kane and I realized like certain parts were coming up, and we're like, oh yeah, oh it's the leech scene, oh it's the pie eating contest, oh.
It has been so long since I've seen that.
I know.
Also, I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah, that was something else. She's 11, and so the kids in that movie are 12. And,
yeah.
So it was like right at that age. Of course, they're like their mouths are awful. Like they're just calling everybody names. I mean, there's like they're just saying they're calling each other retards all the time. They're calling each other pussies all the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, God. And she's like, Dad, don't say that. That's really bad. And he's like, I know. I was trying to make a point that that's not the things we tell our kids they can say.
Exactly. Did you ever get her to watch Short Circuit yet? Or is that still on the list?
We're going to have to get it on disc because I can't, it's not streaming anywhere.
Okay.
I suck. So, I prefer not to, I'm such a impatient person. I'm like, I don't want to plan ahead and have to, but I will.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's sitting on our shelf from Netflix right now, but it's been there for probably a year. It's probably been a year. Excuse me, of a disc that's been sitting up there. So, but... it is what it is, though. Episode 125. My goodness. 125. How you doing?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm doing all right.
You getting yourself set up?
Yeah.
Marconin had a bit of a delayed schedule tonight, so he kind of came in the door about 20 minutes ago. Like, oh, it's time for us to do a show.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what all I did this past week. Trying to find out. Let's see.
Oh, I know 2020 site. I don't even know how many times I paid for that disc sitting on the shelf, but it's a subscription that we're paying for anyway, and we do get a lot of usage out of Netflix. So, I think one of these days we'll just have to back out of the disc membership and just do that. That's what they count on, though. They count on you, paying them for things you're not using, like my Hulu Plus membership that I never use.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. What am I?
How's our balance, especially Arcane?
Yeah.
How's our balance right now?
Do I sound okay?
You're probably a little high, so I'm going to bring
probably.
it down a bit. Oops.
Well, that and I'm kind of talking. I've got the mic over here for right now. Trying to see what all.
See if that's any better.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, I watch Netflix though for TV. It's like most of TV is what I watch in there. Kratos, did you catch that? Did you catch that right there? Did you catch that?
I was trying to be sneaky because I don't want to show it before the show, but I'm also thirsty. Ah.
Arcane, let me know after the adjustment if it's better or worse. If you would. Because I rebalanced it down. I was told for IRIB I was a lot softer than the other guys were. So. Oh, grats, Maslow, 92.
Yeah.
I dug 92.
Just need a big old like crash cymbal or some big gong. Wow.
Everybody's gonna walk around with the Pandaren gong.
Yeah.
I dug 92. I dug 92.
Started working on my paladin too. I need to. Well, I got him to the garrison and then logged out.
And then
logged out. I was like, I got stuff I got to do.
I got stuff to say about that too. When we get into the show, because I'm just like, oh man, there's just stuff. There's stuff I need to talk about. It's not bad. Mm-hmm. I just feel like I don't have enough time for anything.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. Because it takes me an hour or so to get my garrison stuff done every day. Because I'm doing the stables, and and now it's up to 6 dailies a day. Well, now it's 5. Well, no, tonight will be 4 because I actually have 2 of the mounts now. So
yeah.
And I didn't tweet that out. I got the ice hoof last night.
You did?
The cleft hoof with the tusks coming out.
Oh yeah.
So that's 245. 5 more, and I get my fell firehawk. And then I can stop collecting mounts forever. No, I'm kidding.
No, seriously, that is not going to happen.
Can't do that.
That is not going to happen in this lifetime.
Okay.
Type. Oh, you got one of those clicky keyboards too.
Yes, I do. Let's see here.
All right.
I think
I've tweeted the deets. I've got everything in. My microphone is muted on this side. Yes. You can hear this.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media
Okay. Good deal.
I can hear that.
I think everything's working fine. That's awesome because I upgraded XSplit and it seems to have been working perfectly. So I'm quite pleased. And it has some cool new stuff, which is even better. So yay.
I love all that.
And I have to show off my shirt too. My shirt is a cat constellation. I'll move my microphone.
I love it.
It's a cat constellation shirt.
I'm very proud of this. It's your catstellation shirt.
Catstellation shirt. Poor little Garrus, man. That little guy has had like the recurring hairball right now, but he doesn't get it out. So he just sits there and occasionally like he'll be playing with Spike and then whatever it is gets kind of clogged in his windpipe and he just sits down and he goes, hey. He just lays there and he just looked up to me like, Mom, what did you just do? He's laying over here
You're
going,
speaking my language.
Mother, what are you doing? He's so damn cute, this cat.
Yeah.
All right, now that your microphone is in front of you, test 1 2 1 2.
Check. Mic 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3.
It sounds okay. And to me, let's make sure the chat room hears the same balance.
Chat room, am I loud enough or soft enough, or how do we need to play this?
How do we need to do this?
How do we this? How this work? What
I
this
like
do?
that. How do we this?
How do we this? How do we this? I gotta tell you a story after that show is over about a French horn player from Romania in college, and things he said that were quite funny. And I can't say it on the air.
Oh, dudes. Now they're all going to be like, damn it, Mark Honan.
Hey, that just means you got to stick around.
You're going to talk about it at the end of the show?
Yeah,
like
well,
on stream?
Yeah, I'll talk about it on the stream after.
I gotcha. So. Okay, so you guys have to stick around to the end for this good story then.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like
it's kind of funny, but I mean, it's not like mind-blowingly, the secret funniest thing I've heard all week or all month, but it's the mix of cultures and languages are very complicated.
Perfect. All right. Everything's set on my end. Everything's set on your end?
Yes.
Chat room, are you guys ready?
Ready. Are you ready? 30 seconds later.
30 seconds later. And
Maslow sound says I be sounding good, man.
I know you sound good.
Good, very good.
We are the navy blue shirted twins tonight.
Navy blue think tank.
The navy blue think tank.
NBTT.
That's awesome.
I'm
Okay.
Let's do it.
And we're going to go in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the World of Warcraft podcast for you, the World of Warcraft player.
Welcome to episode 125 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Saturday, December 6th of 2014. My name is Jules. I am here tonight. We are actually the navy blue shirt twins tonight. We did not plan this. I don't know what happened, but we both showed up on stream and was like, wait a minute. We're both wearing the same color. It's Marconin.
Great minds think alike.
I know.
Evening, Jules.
Hi. You poor thing. You were like tearing into the house to get here on time for the show. You made it with plenty of time, but Marconin is like the best grandson in the world. You know, he's rolling his eyes at
Well,
me. You are. What have you been
tried.
up to these past couple days? And tell the world why you're such an awesome grandson.
well, my grandparents are living in my home. They live in my hometown, about 2 hours away. And every year for the past 3 or 4 years, I always get with my grandmother to go decorate her house and put the Christmas tree up, because on our Christmas, that's ground zero for presents and food and fun times. That's my family's house where we all congregate to on Christmas morning.
Right.
And so it's we always have to have the family, it's almost like a postcard Christmas, view, like that picture of the ideal Christmas. And I'm a huge fan of Christmas and Christmas time. So I want that. And that's what I remember from my childhood. And now everybody's getting older. They've got kids. I've got a nephew now, and they're all, people are, slowly kind of moving away and apart. And so I want to at least have the decorations up and have it look really cool.
Yeah.
And for everyone to be there. So we got the tree out, put all the thing. And this year we went back to an artificial tree.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 years we did a real tree, but we wanted to, Granny didn't want to have all the needles falling everywhere, because she replaced the carpet in the living room a couple of weeks ago. She said there were still needles from last year in the carpet, and she's vacuumed there all year. And so she was like, I'm just going to get the fake tree out of the attic. This thing's 9 feet tall.
Oh my
and I
God.
put it
How
up.
big are
Yeah.
her ceilings?
10.
Oh my
10
God.
feet tall ceilings.
Wow.
So the thing, I had to bend the top of the tree topper down to put the star on top. It was that tall.
Oh, jeez. That's a heck of a tree.
Yeah. And so I put, we decorated the tree. I actually put a picture out on Twitter about it earlier today. And, we started decorating and everything. And I did all the heavy lifting. And, and she was like, well, that's about all I got. I'll do the little small, she decorates the entire house. She could write an entire book on interior decorating.
Aww.
She's sweet old lady, southern lady, fantastic cook, fantastic everything, and I love her very much. And so I want to continue that every year that I can. So so that's what I've been doing the past couple days.
What a cool story. That is awesome that you're I'm assuming she's probably got like a metric crap ton of decorations to get out.
Yes, she's been toning it down the last several years as far as outside decorations. I kind of cleaned up the outside of the house and put a wreath on the door with lights and stuff like that. But interior is really where she's dominating that's where all of her Christmas decorations are going these days.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That is awesome. My grandmother she is exactly like that. She has a much smaller place than she did when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. But it was like, Christmas went all over everything. And I've been lucky enough to actually get a lot of her decorations for like ornaments and that kind of thing. So my tree, So my stepdaughter decorated the tree last weekend, and she took all of the decorations that my mom has made for my grandmother's tree, and then my grandmother had, and so our tree looks very much like my grandmother's tree,
Oh,
which
that's
is very
awesome.
cool. And my mom has made a lot of the decorations either from, we did them as stained glass ornaments that we made as kids that are in there, or there were ones that my mom used to do, like the big it was like the stitch canvas stuff where you could cut the canvas and make them into shapes, and then you'd stitch them with wool yarn. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'll take pictures of them and put them on Twitter. They're, it's
That's
very
awesome.
old school crafty, but it's got so much sentimental value to them. So
And that's the most important part of it.
exactly. And so she used to do them all the time. It was really, really cool. Anyway, now that we've talked
That's
all
great.
about Christmas. Oh, so World of Warcraft, man.
Oh, speaking of World of Warcraft, also, you know, when you haven't had a beverage touch your face for a while, you get that thing. What do they call it? Thirsty.
Yeah.
And starting today, whenever I get thirsty, I'm gonna reach for my Starbucks coffee mug.
Oh, look at that. Courtesy of the amazing
Courtesy of
Kranos.
Kranos.
Yes.
Yep.
On the video, if you're listening to the podcast form, you did not see him gesture. Like the gesture
Just-
was perfect. It kind of came up from underneath the frame and reached. I'm going to drink out of this.
Yeah.
Boy, you could have been a spokesperson once or twice in your life.
Well, I could always call Home Shopping Network and do like Mike Rowe did and be like, and this is what is this again? It's a decorative table topping. You can put flowers in it. Yes. Or something, This is also my very first mug ever. Like, I don't drink coffee, so this is my first coffee mug ever.
So you have to tell them what you told me before we went live, because it was damn funny. I first of all, I have never met somebody who's never owned a coffee mug at age what?
30 something.
30 something. You've never owned a coffee mug in your life,
Well-
except for now.
Well, yeah. Well, I had another first this week. I had my very first taste of Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I'd never had it before because they weren't around here.
Yeah.
We just now started getting them, and a guy from work was like, "Dude, I need coffee. Let's go get some coffee." And he's like, "I'll buy." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I had some like iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. It was actually really good, and I was very wired all day,
I'm sure.
all day. Wednesday was a blur. Just a whole day, just like. At first it was 7 a.m. and then it was 6 p.m. and I'm in front of my computer. I'm like, where did the day go again? Where am I?
Do you
Who is
not
this?
drink Mountain Dew or something?
I do, but I guess I'm immune to the effects of the jitteriness and I just drink it for the taste.
Yeah.
So I
That's
don't know. But yeah, the thing before the show was to see, like I said, this is my very first coffee mug. So I am blissfully ignorant to the ways and means of coffee drinkers.
And I
so
did not know how to
noticed-
answer this question, by the way.
Yes,
I did not
so
know.
maybe somebody in the chat room will be able to answer this. Now, I am a southpaw. I'm left-handed. So whenever I pick up my mug of Starbucks coffee, wink, and I go to put it to my lips, you can see the logo. Now, is that normal? Like when you're right-handed and you're drinking out of your coffee mug, you can see the "I hate Mondays" or whatever you've got on your, coffee mug. Is that the way it is? Is it like you see the thing going towards you? Or see, I don't know. And now we wait for the chat
I
room to catch up.
honestly do not know the answer to this because I don't drink coffee out of mugs that have things printed on them most days. At work, I have like a standard green coffee mug. So I when he asked me this question, I'm like, so your logo faces out. It faces towards away from your face. And
Yes,
so,
towards the camera.
but a right-handed person would see the logo towards their face. So what's the deal?
Yeah, I don't know if it's okay. 2020 says it depends on the cup. So I guess I didn't know if Kranos intentionally gave me a left-handed cup because he heard somewhere I was left-handed, and in which case, good job. And if not, that's not the case, then pretend it is so you can feel real nice about yourself. And I think you're awesome. So.
I mean, this could really be a thing, like how men's and women's garments have
Yeah.
zippers on buttons on the wrong side, or depending on who you are, it's like that's the wrong side. No, it's the right side. And so, yeah, I know. Anyway, World of Warcraft.
Yes, World of Warcraft.
We are so like we're
getting there
I know,
slowly.
All right, what have you been doing in WoW this week?
Oh, Garrisons, like everyone else with the expansion.
I know.
Everyone else. But I did hit a milestone, and if not really a milestone, I'm back up to 100,000 gold,
Whoa.
which means that I am going to go vroom vroom real soon on my Alliance chopper.
Okay,
I'm
I
going
need
to.
to ask you a question about the gold thing.
Uh-huh.
How are you earning gold right now? Because I feel like I am bleeding gold without earning it back.
Well, and you're going to ask me on the podcast so everybody gets my
No, no,
secrets.
no, no, no. You can tell
No,
me
it's
that
not
you're
really
selling
secret.
things or you're farming things. You don't have to say what it is.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty much it. I'm selling my daily goods that I make in my garrison,
Okay.
and you can always go back and look at old raids for transmog that people want. There's a few old plate sets that still sell for a good bit if you can get the right piece, like the Vanguard chest piece. I sold that thing for 20K back in Mists.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that was a while back. And so I mean, but that's the Iron Man chest. It's blue
Yep.
and has this orange, or it looks like if you've seen Pacific Rim, looks like Gypsy Danger, the main mech from that, or
Okay.
Jaeger. So
Okay.
it looks like Iron Man, and so everybody wants to be Iron Man. And so you can do that with old transmog. So I do that, and just running old raids, especially now at 100, and you can blaze through almost every old raid. I haven't touched any of Mists yet, but
Yep.
just go there and vendor everything. Just vendor all your trash,
Mm-hmm.
all your greens. Look to see if the greens will sell first, but if not, then just vendor them.
So that's how you're
Get a
earning your
lot of
gold.
gold.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly feel like I'm bleeding gold right now, and I don't, and because I know that there's been a lot of changes in how gold gets used. Garrisons are taking a lot of money from you, and that kind of thing. And then the whatever the new seal name is, I can't remember the name of it. But you can get one of them with gold, and then one of them with garrison resources, and one of them with Apexis crystals. But I just feel like I am so low on gold, lower than I've ever been. And so that is a good thing. Anyway, I'm sorry
Yeah.
to derail. I needed to hear that,
no,
though.
no problem at all. No, yeah, that's yeah. I have been spending a lot of gold as well, but I've been just every day I'll do my garrison stuff, and every week I'll take Markonnen through all of the. Actually, I haven't done any of the BC raids lately. I'll do all of the Kata raids, all of the, well, except for the very end of Dragon Soul, because Spine of Deathwing soloing is a nightmare.
I've heard
Oh,
it's
you're rolling left.
terrible.
Oh, you're rolling right. Oh, you're rolling left. Oh, you're rolling right. Left, right, left, right, left, right. And you can't really stand in the middle. It's hard.
Yeah.
Eventually, maybe you can do it, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I do all the Kata raids and all of the Lich King raids on 20. I do 25 heroic ICC, which is fun. As a gnome, Arthas is like, oh, I will kill you. I was like, nah, dude. Sorry, frostbolts and you're dead. Sorry. Because I want invincible. I want those mounts. That's another reason why I do them, is for the mounts.
See, now that is something that I should do. I don't go and do it, but I should. So that is a good tip, and I appreciate it, and I will go and start making some gold that way. Cool.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's a good way to do it. Also, 25 man TOC. Every boss drops a 50 gold Triumph of the Champions trophy, remember? That used to drop?
Yeah.
Still vendors for 50 gold each. So every run, you get at least 250 gold.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a tip.
I love it. This is how I'm going to earn my gold. Is I'm going to take some time and run some old raids. You watch this.
Do it.
It's not going to happen, but I.
Well, what about you in WoW, Jules? What have you been doing this week? I heard you had an awesome time somewhere with some one-eyed people or whatever they
I'm
are.
a little embarrassed by this, I have to say, because Cat on Fire raid team that I'm putting back together, we're gonna wait and start raiding until the new year, because we've got people who've got a lot of things going on. We're only raiding one night a week, and so we're not in any rush to be in progression mode. We want to let people get themselves ready to go. So like this week on Monday, the team's going to run Molten Core so we can get people their helms and do all of that great stuff. But so I've been a little bit slackery in terms of getting gear. I haven't been running a lot of heroics. I haven't been pushing too hard. I don't have the legendary ring yet. So I'm bopping around. I think I was on my monk, and I get a whisper from Sharku, and Shark is like, "Hey, Jules, my other raid team needs a healer tonight for Heimal. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Oh," and I look at my eye level is 617. And I'm like,
Yeesh.
Sharku, I don't know if you want to have me come along on this. And he goes, why? And I said, because my eye level is so damn low. And he goes, don't worry about it. The raid leader said it was fine. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, really? This is normal? I know we know it's normal, but it's still, I mean, most people are asking for like eye level 635 to 645.
Yeah.
And I'm 617. Okay? So I get into the raid. And I'm like, I'm gonna suck. We do the first boss, and I am just like, oh, this is easy. Okay, this is good. So we kill the first boss one shot.
Oh, Kargath. I thought he would be easier. I thought he'd be harder.
Oh, he's like a cakewalk, man. On normal, totally.
Well, from his Lord of War thing, where he had to rip off his own arm, and like I thought he would be more awesome than that.
Well, and
the
mechanics of the fight are, I mean, they're raid mechanics, but they were not complex. It's like, stay out of the fire stuff on the floor. Don't stand there if it pops up, and just, do that.
Yeah, don't stand in the stupid.
Don't stand in the stupid and you'll live. And so I look at the meters, and I'm like towards the top of the meter at a 617 eye level. And I'm like, oh, jeez. Like, what? Whoa. So now
Whoa.
I had really bad habits that I've got to break. Like, really bad habits. I was healing like I was in Miss Pandaria, and I was like gasping for mana, and because I'm just like heal, and I wasn't thinking. So by the time we got to the next boss, God, I'm blanking on his name. It's the shard boss. We were, and the team was just working through the mechanics and trying to figure it out. We didn't get him, but we got pretty far. After an hour and a half, we got through his third phase.
Nice.
But yeah, it was just like, I'm looking at these fights, and I'm like, this is awesome. But I was really like, I got a piece of gear off of Kargath, and my eye level jumped to 619.
Hey, there you go.
I was like, I got a chess piece. So Tectis, that's the one. Thank you, Didrik in the chat room. So anyway, Tectis is not an easy fight, and we were trying to figure this one out. And so just a shout out to the team Order of the Luminous, who took me along with a 617 eye level, and I got some gear out of it.
That's awesome.
That was awesome. But we wound up, so I wound up raiding. That was the only time I raided this week. But it was a lot of fun, and I am super excited to continue on with this content, because it looks like it's going to be, I mean, normal's no joke, dude. It's right now, in terms of where your gear is and where people's gear is and the DPS levels, everybody's getting gear up. It's gonna, heroic is gonna be no joke either. You're gonna be pushing. So last night, I ran with Arcane and Ipmon and Asimi and Andy Hannon, and we did a bunch of heroics, and I got a lot of the stuff towards the legendary ring.
Nice.
From the different heroic bosses, and so it was cool. But I mean, I've just been taking my time. Garrisons, man, they take up a lot of your time.
They do.
So it's
like an hour a day.
Seriously, and the people who have multiple garrisons, I'm like, how do you do it? How do you have time to like do all that and then do your character leveling and gearing and all that stuff? It's just, I can tell how much time people are probably spending in the game these days. And I've got stuff, I mean, today I'm just like bopping around here and doing this, and I was like, I got a little bit, I got my garrison stuff, and by the time I was all done with all my garrison stuff, it was like an hour after I was done. So in any case, but I'm still having a blast with Warlords. I think it's fun as hell.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm really enjoying it. I do know what you mean about the garrisons, because every time I log into the game or look at my friends list, like over half of them are in their garrisons doing something. It's work orders, doing something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's really cool. I like it. I like how we've got a little patch of Draenor that's ours, and that we are commanding, and it feels very immersive.
Yes.
I said that before, but it really does.
I know.
It's just really cool.
I know. And so I can't wait to see what's to come next. I'm just having a blast with it all. So one little thing before we get into the discussion topic, Mark Honan and I want to give a huge thank you to all of the people who have signed up to be our patrons so far. Thank you guys so much. I mean, the response has been amazing. All of a sudden, we were like, ah! So thank you for your donations towards the show. We also know that this is Christmas time, and everybody's money is definitely a little tighter than normal. So for everybody, and some people have come to us and said, I'm after the Christmas holiday or after Hanukkah, or, and don't worry about it, guys. This is a long-term thing. Mark Honan and I have been working on some things for our patrons. We've got a plan for the MP3 coming out soon for our patrons at that level. The necklace and the keychains are being finalized, and we're going to find out who gets what and who wants what. And we got some plans. We got some things we want to do for our patrons. They're also going to get some opportunities to weigh in on some stuff behind the scenes for us. So if you are interested in becoming a patron of Tauren Think Tank, it's patreon.com. That's spelled patreon.com/Tauren Think Tank. The show will always be free. And we appreciate everybody who chooses to donate to the show and help us continue to do some really cool things. So
absolutely.
With that, I'm super excited by this discussion topic. I can't wait to get into it. So we're going to go do this right now.
Let's kick around some ideas, not gnomes.
Eventually, he's going to learn how to get out of the way of that.
Get out of there. I know. Okay. This discussion topic is a pretty cool one for me because it actually came from a conversation that I had at my job with one of my coworkers. I work in a really small office. There's only 3 of us that work in the office. And we are a very informal group. We are an informal group. We laugh all the time about, God forbid we have an HR department.
Oh boy.
Sounds
like my job.
Yeah, exactly. And so my coworker, who is she is single. She is a single mom. She just turned 50, so she's 10 years older than I am. And she was talking to me about some challenges, about things that were going on in her world, and talking about balance in life and things that you do in life and the time that we spend. I think most of us can relate to that feeling that we never have enough time in the day to do the things that we want to do, that we should do, that we feel we should do, versus the things that we do regularly. So like when we all have to go to our job, we all have to get up and go to work or go to school. We have to go to the grocery store because we need food. We have to put gas in our car because we got to do that. But then we always feel like there's more that we should be doing. And then there's that feeling of guilt that happens where you just feel like you should get around to doing something, like find time to exercise in your week or your day. Or I really should become more financially responsible and figure out how to put money aside in my 401k. Or I've been talking about painting that bedroom for years and I've never gotten around to doing it. And I just feel guilty that I just let that go. And so when I was talking to my coworker, I had a realization that only certain number of hours a day thing that we talk about all the time, it actually equates to the amount of energy that we expend on things in our lives. So like we distribute that energy the way that we want to or have to, depending on the life that we choose to lead. Everybody does it differently. So my coworker, I theorized from her perspective that she probably spends about 65% of her energy on her work in her life. She spends about 25% of that on her 2 children and about 10% on other things like her friends or going out and socializing or that kind of, travel. And then she beats herself up that she doesn't have enough time or energy to exercise, to lose weight, to get healthier, and she really beats herself up about it. And I said, well, what if you took 10% of the energy that you have in the work that you do and you redistribute it somehow? Where would you put it? And she kind of looked at me like, well, I don't know, because I've done like my work is really important to me. I work really hard and we're in a startup company and she has a lot of responsibilities and that she's a sales director. And so I wanted to bring this up and say, let's talk about a little bit about, think of our lives as buckets of energy, where we put our energy and why we do it. Why do we do that? So Marconin, I'm going to ask you, you don't have to lay it all out. I mean, I'm probably going to do it, but I want
We'll
to talk.
see.
Some of this is very personal.
Mhm.
But I will go first because I've been talking this whole time. So I just wanted
Yeah.
to kind of put it out there. If you want me to go first, I will.
I don't mind going first. I can bounce it back to you at
Sure.
some point.
Okay.
So, what was the question exactly?
So think of
So
your
what
life
do-
as
what
buckets
do
of
I-
energy that you
Yeah.
put in your day. And when you think about where you put that energy, what percentages do you think that you put in your life for each thing?
Well, I don't think, like your coworker, I don't think I put that much energy into my job. It doesn't. It sounds worse than it is.
Mhm.
But my job, I've been working at it for almost 5 years now, and I know how to do it.
Yep.
So it's really not. It's not. There's not something. I mean, there's things that change with it, all during the year, and it's very challenging at times. But like when I'm at work, I think about my work, but I also think of other things. Like my mind wanders, even though I'm getting the job done
Yep.
and I perform really well. My mind can just wander and think about things. I think about the next, parody song idea I want to have, the next thing. So I would say my work, even when I'm traveling, I would say about 45-50% of my energy will go to my job
Mhm.
because that's you know you you work to live, don't live to work.
Yes.
That kind of a thing.
Yep.
So I don't want my job to ever dominate my life unless it's a really awesome job, one that it's very fulfilling and it's very thing. But how many people have a very fulfilling job that they love and adore 100% of the time?
Well, and that's what my
You know.
coworker is. She is absolutely in love with the things that she does. She's absolutely in love with it. So, I mean, I was giving her 65% of that, and I think sometimes she puts more.
Probably.
And that's what I was saying is that you put all of this energy into your job, and but then you feel like you don't have the time for the stuff that you beat yourself up over.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. That's why I'm always thinking of other things while I'm at work, while doing the job. If my boss ever listens to this, I do my job, but
Well,
he plays WoW too, so he may hear this day.
well, and it's not necessarily about the energy that you expend towards it. It's the amount of
Mhm.
time in your day, or
Time,
the
yes.
yeah, that you and the energy that you put into.
Mhm.
It's hard to define it, but think about it as buckets of time. That
Yeah.
takes up. If 40 hours a week or 45 hours a week of your day of your week is your job, it's a good proportion.
Yeah, it's
But does
about
it bleed
a little
out
bit less
into
than a
other
third
stuff?
at least.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I'm traveling, it definitely does take up more time because, I'm flying, I'm commuting, I'm driving back and forth. I'm trying to find the nearest grocery store at this town I've never lived in, kind of a thing, and it does take up a lot of time. So yeah, I would say 50-55% probably sometimes
Yep.
during the year.
Okay.
That's where it goes to. Sleep takes up a good bit of time, not as much as I'd like sometimes, but taking sleep out of that. Gosh, the rest of the time, let's see, what did I say, about 55%? I'd say about another 35% or 40% of that is me thinking about the game.
Yes.
And about
Or gaming.
gaming or podcast ideas take up another 10%, another 15% of my time. So it's almost all of it is either me thinking about the game or gaming, thinking about audio stuff to do, or my job.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of time. A lot of time that I spend on those things.
So now you're talking about time, and then when you talk about the things that you put your energy towards, that you're passionate about or that you like to do, sometimes
Sure.
that's a little bit different.
True. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, and so that is what I think is
Mhm.
the challenge for a lot of us, and why we beat ourselves up in terms of, like, you have to expend energy to go to your job and to be at your job and to perform well at your job so that you keep your job. But the amount of time that you do that is, I think, dependent on how much you enjoy the work that you do. And for
Mhm.
my coworker, who absolutely loves what she does and is passionate about it, as a sales manager, a sales director, she takes phone calls from sales reps at any day or time or day of the night, and it will it will interrupt things that she's doing with her children, going out with her friends. And I found it very interesting is when she was actually going to take a few days off from work. And I told all the sales reps, please don't disturb her while she's on vacation. She is out of town. She should not be disturbed. They were actually going after her and
Really?
asking her. Yeah. And she let them because she was so passionate about letting them be there. You know, she wanted them to have someone to come to and all of that kind of thing. So, but at her own detriment because she was frustrated. Now, she will constantly talk about how she beats herself up, that she hasn't gotten herself into better shape, that she needs to eat better, exercise, focus on that. But she says every time I do that, and she has lost weight and gained weight, lost weight and gained weight, she said, I find it's harder and harder to find that energy to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
When
because
you failed or it
you seesaw back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of thought about this as we were talking because she was saying, I don't know where to find the energy to do it again. And I struggle with that exact same thing. I was, in May, Arcade and I were going out and we were, after work, I'd get home and we would, the spring was here and we were out walking after work almost every day. And then we would be eating better and things were going really good. And then I got into a car accident. And I was injured and could not exercise for about 5 months because I was in constant pain. And that sucked. And I lost the momentum. And I found that it was like this. And then thinking about the energy that I had to go back and say, start again. And I'm like, and then then it was like, I was having these heart problems and I didn't know where that was. The medication, it was just like, it was easier for me to say, I will go and play World of Warcraft and I will work on the podcast stuff. I will focus on all of this kind of thing. And just, because I don't want to deal with that part, but I feel guilty because I have not put the energy towards it. And,
I know how you feel.
Yeah,
on that
and
front.
so I think you and I have had this conversation where you've said I want to eat better, I want to work out more, and I just don't know where to find the time.
Yeah,
and then the motivation is the energy part.
Yeah, that's the key because I mean you have time, but do you have the motivation? I could work on my Garrison for another hour, or I could go for a half-hour walk and then spend a half hour, reading or something. I could do something else with my time.
Right.
But do I want to? Because this kind of goes a little bit with the procrastination thing from a few weeks ago. I'm a procrastinator and I can be lazy when I want to be and when I don't want to be productive. And it's something that I battled with for a long time. I have a lot of trouble with sticking to an eating plan or something like that to lose weight. I was doing really good for a while, and I do pretty well for about a month. And I didn't have a car accident, but I did have just things happen and things get in the way, and it just falls by the wayside. It's something, not something I'm used to doing. And that's why they say when you ever want to lose weight, it's not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
You've got to re-engineer your life and your motivation, your energy, as we were talking. You've got to reassign it and leave it there. You have to set it down like that. I'm going to do that for this amount of time. I'm going to think about this and this, and I'm going to put away these things that are in the way of that, or I'm going to reduce them. And you have to stick to it. And there's a lot of willpower that goes into that and a lot of self-regulation. And that's not something I'm very strong in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so, so this has kind of been a long road, but this is where I had this epiphany in a way. And I hope that it maybe resonates even with one person.
Sure.
But that I thought of the fact that when we talk about motivation, that motivation is actually energy that you expend towards doing something that you want to do. We are motivated very strongly by money, which is why we get up every morning and we go to work and we keep our job and we perform our job, because if we don't, then we don't have money. And so that is a motivation. Therefore, we can easily put towards that energy for most people towards doing that. School is the same thing. If you want to have the education in order to go on into the career, you have to go to school, and therefore you go and you do that. So that is the equation there. The when you talk about 2020 Site made a comment in the chat room, which I absolutely loved. She said, Jules, please feel free to use me as as an example. I didn't find the energy or time for so long. I ended up with diabetes. But she's saying that in the negative, but she actually used that motivation that she had no choice anymore to turn it around and to start eating better and start working towards that. So when you look at how we expend our energy, and when we, as gamers, I think, this may be a bit of a generalization, and I apologize, I don't mean it as such, but I think as gamers, we tend to be more sedentary. On the whole, we tend to be more sedentary, more prone to sitting still and not going, it's a lot easier to plunk yourself down in your office chair or in front of your laptop on the sofa and sit an hour in your Garrison.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with weather. You don't have to go outside. You don't have to worry about sweating. It's you're comfortable, you're warm or cool, or depending on the climate. It's very nice. It's very relaxing. Or you just want to get, I gotta do my Garrisons. I need to work on my heroics. I need a new chest piece. I gotta farm up some gold so I can afford the enchant for that, or this or that. And it's a lot easier than doing something that actually requires physical exertion.
Yeah. And it's easy energy to spend because you're spending it on something you really enjoy with people that you like, hopefully. And so it is this balance act. But then we turn around and we beat ourselves up over the stuff that we don't do. And, or we just pretend it doesn't exist, or you don't care about it, or all of those things. And I know that I do it. I believe Mark Honan would agree with me that he does the same thing.
Yeah, I am completely guilty of everything that I have said tonight. I am not judging a single human being without judging myself first.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
And, and it is something that I struggle with every single day. I hate to exercise. I absolutely hate it. I don't like it. I don't want to do it, but I know I have to do it. And every single time I'm like, okay, I'm going to put myself on a plan and I'm going to get it done and I'm going to take care of it. And then something happens and it doesn't happen. I managed to lose 80 pounds when I was 30 years old, which was not easy. And,
wow.
But the problem is that I lost that 80 pounds and I was like, I did it. And then I didn't know what to do to fix the things that I did to get there. I had changed my lifestyle, and then I thought I had hit the end of the road, and I had done it, and I had reached my goal, and I didn't need to do anything anymore, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I wound up going right back to where I was before. And
that's not a finish line.
It's not. And it's just I wanted to put out the idea of the buckets of energy concept because my coworker, she went berserk over it. She was like, that is so cool because I can visualize this in terms of how I place things, where I place my time. And so I feel like it is if it helps one person, then it's awesome. I feel like, because I think it's going to help me. I think that once we get into our, find the time to just redistribute it to something else. So if I take half an hour out of the time that I spend doing one thing that I do, which maybe is just, sitting in front of, I don't know, BuzzFeed, reading stuff or something, or I put that on my iPad and I walk while I'm on the treadmill.
Yeah, there you go.
So that kind of thing. It's just a matter of finding the time to redistribute that time. And but I also hope that the listeners understand that both Mark Honan and I deal with the same things that you guys do, which is that we beat ourselves up over things that we think that we should do, and feel like we don't have enough hours in the day. And as gamers, it's very easy to sit down and say, I spent 2 hours on my Garrisons because I was having a great time and I was enjoying myself and my time got away from me. And then you go, crap, I didn't do a damn thing other than do my Garrisons.
Yeah, that's actually how I felt the other day. I ended up wasting the whole evening playing the game, and there was other stuff I wanted to get done that day. I was like, well, guess I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I had to have extra motivation and a lot extra time the next day to do it. And
Yeah.
if any of the listeners have the idea, they can actually think about it or actually plot out a week and like pay attention to what they're doing the whole week, and then figure it out and kind of make a visual aid, like how big are my buckets of energy,
Yeah.
how much does this go to work, how much does this go to gaming, how much does this go to other stuff. You can kind of plot it out and see if there's, kind of do some self-reflection like we've been trying to do tonight. If you've got a regret or something you want to work on, just kind of visualize it and say, well, what would it take for me to still enjoy all these extra things but get this other thing done?
Yeah.
And I think that'd be a cool little project to do. It's something I'm thinking about doing too. So
yeah, and it's an exercise to kind of look at the things that you're currently doing, and then reevaluating what is the most important thing that you want to kind of insert into that listing, and where can you pull the time from to fit that in. And I know that I've done this 100 times, but it's a matter of just finding where you are today and not where you were a year ago or 5 years ago when you were able to get up at 5 a.m. and go to a gym. A lot of things may have changed in your life since then. So, or your work schedule doesn't allow it, or, there's a lot of things that you have to weigh in. But the other thing that I want to just quickly comment on is that you can beat yourself up for the past stuff that you did or were able to accomplish, but you just kind of didn't do it anymore. Like, I used to be able to run 5 miles in a day, and I used to be able to do it at 4 times a week, and now I can't do it. It's like, well, that's great, but you're here now.
Yeah, you'll just have to adjust it, and do what you can.
Yeah. And just like just like World of Warcraft changes in terms of the expansions and the things that are available to us, that's how our life changes. We, nobody had this time that we were spending in Garrisons. We weren't spending that time in Garrisons before.
Yeah.
So where did that time come from?
I used to have 1,000,000 HP back in the day. I used to do 280,000 damage, and that was just me swinging an axe. Them warlocks were going like 800,000 damage, and now I'm doing 25K. Man, I've really fallen off the wagon.
Has Bubba Conan come back?
Oh, he's around where he's coming around. He's got some ideas of things he's gonna say.
Okay.
So that's a subtle hint for y'all friends of ours. You might wanna check it out.
That's right. So in any case, I thought this was just a cool, different, especially for us gamers. I think that there's things that we do as gamers that we beat ourselves up over. The time we spend gaming, because it certainly comes around to us enough from people who don't understand gaming and say, well, how can you sit in front of a computer for all that time and just sit there? Can't you don't you have something else to do? Or so it's that feeling of
sometimes yes. Sometimes no.
Sometimes no. So if you guys have any comments or thoughts about the discussion topic, I thought this would be something that could ring true to some folks, especially since it kind of came across in my everyday life. So you can send that over to questions@taurenthinktank.com. That's our email address. And let's do maybe talking a little bit about Doghouse. How's that? How's that sound? Is that pretty?
Sounds good.
I never actually mentioned this. This stream, the stream for Tauren Think Tank, the recording for Tauren Think Tank is actually done on a Doghouse system. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It is. It's done on a Doghouse system.
Why'd you look at that now?
I know. My previous one before I upgraded this last year is proudly hosting and recording Tauren Think Tank for you. And Doghouse is amazing. They're currently running their holiday deals for the next several days, actually. You can get free shipping and a lot of little extras as part of their holiday sale. And you can check it out at doghousesystems.com. Click on holiday deals. Normally, we would tell you guys enter TTT at checkout to get double the memory. They're already going to do that for you. You don't even need to add the code. But mention that you heard about Doghouse from us so that they know. That's always helpful for us. And I know it's just we talk about it all the time. They're amazing and we love them, but they really are. I even talked to somebody today because they were having problems with their computer and they said, well, what would Doghouse do in the case that I'm having where I might have to replace my motherboard? And I said, well, you're going to get a 3-year warranty out of that deal. So then they will take care of things that break. The previous one, the one that I had, actually had a bad video card. They replaced that for me with no problem.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. So anyway, doghousesystems.com. Please go check them out if you're in the market for a brand new gaming PC. We love them. They love you. They love this show. That's awesome. So thank you for Doghouse Systems.
Yep.
All right. So, are you ready for something, Tank Bot Conan?
Let's do it.
Torn between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
All right. This one's a little lengthy, but I cut it back as much as I could and still kept all the goody stuff.
I
Hi,
need
Triple
to take
T.
over. Let me know.
Yeah, if I start coughing, you might have to jump in. I'm doing better.
Yeah, you're doing really good.
Yeah. All right. Hi, Triple T. I'm a really new listener. I took over a year off of Warcraft after having played since Burning Crusade. I thoroughly enjoy your podcast. I think it's professional, and I love all the topics you guys cover. I especially love Mark Conan's different voices. I listen to you guys while I'm at work. I work in a fairly quiet office and start cracking up at Bubba, Cletus, and Clementine. Wait, that's not it. You know what I mean, right?
We appreciate you. Thank you.
I'm 30 years old, and my mom and I have a strange relationship. It's a bit codependent, and it used to be that I would complain and cry to her about my previous relationship. I was very unhappy, and it was slightly abusive. I had no real friends except those in WoW, and I was not really doing much at the time to make new friends. I'm now with someone else, and she is pretty fantastic. Granted, we have our issues, as does every relationship. We broke up briefly a while back, and I was devastated. I was a mess at my new job, and at the time, I did not think we would be able to work it out. My boss was very concerned as I was visibly upset, and I feel as though I painted an inaccurate picture of myself as an employee and as a person. Anyway, I called my mom and was such a wreck. She was there for me like she always is. I called my 2 closest friends, and they were there for me also, but I spilled the beans about very personal details of our relationship, which seems very disrespectful. But now it seems as though I have some boundary issues. I tend to overshare my personal information about my relationship with people because it alleviates anxiety inside of me. I was in therapy for about a year, and this has been less of an issue, but for someone like me, with a few close friends, how do I go about finding a balance between venting or talking about the frustrations in my relationship when they occur? Granted, they don't occur often, and why we broke up was pretty valid. I was dishonest, and trust is a sore spot for my girlfriend. We are doing fantastic now, and I want to continue on this path. And not demolishing our couple bubble and betraying my girlfriend's sense of trust and safety. I also don't want the closest people to me to dislike my girlfriend and talk about why we broke up does not really give the full story, as only the 2 people that are there for all the great times, emotional times, close times, and intimate times are, as my girlfriend and I. I know it's not a good idea to call up my friends and my mom and talk about my relationship, but I do not feel I have a safe place to talk about this without people passing judgment on my girlfriend. I think she's wonderful and fantastic, and I'm very happy with her. I'm already thinking about ways to propose to her. We've been together for about a year now, and I want to build a life with her and she with me. But I don't want people to alienate her because I don't know where the line is. Any advice? Thank you. From Caspin. And Caspin is a female. So,
Alrighty.
So with all of that information, the basis behind this is when things go wrong, I want to talk to somebody about it, especially when it comes into my relationships. But then I wind up telling too much, and those people then know more about my relationship than they should.
Yeah. Well, I think, there's, when you're in a relationship, with your significant other, and you have issues. I mean, you do want to vent about it. You don't, the instinct is to gripe. Like, you do want to, like, man, I can't believe they did this and they did that and all this. And that's the one and she points it out that the only thing that her friends and her mom are hearing are the bad things.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know about the good things and all the good times you've had. And, I've had, I'm not immune to the same things that are happening to her, and I got to remember to paint the whole picture as much as I can, because I know my friends are there for me regardless.
Yes.
They're, and, sometimes you will do a bit of an overshare, which is, it's natural, and to try and vent and try and get some advice. But, if you feel now that you've got a bit of an overshare, try and just be more, I guess be more aware of what you're saying and who you're saying it to, and try really hard that, before you talk to your friends, like, okay, well, I don't want to cross this line or that line. I do not want to mention this. I'll just kind of, for lack of a better way to say it, dance around it, or, kind of vent your frustrations to try and get it out. But, like I said, there are things that happen in a relationship you don't want anyone else to know. And nothing bad. It's those intimate parts, you don't want to. There's certainly things you don't want to tell a random. if you're not willing to tell a random stranger on the side of the road things that are going on, you probably don't want to tell your friends. In the cases of abuse or something, then by all means. But if just the little ticky tack stuff,
I don't understand.
I don't know.
I guess I don't relate very well to having a parent be a friend in that way.
Oh yeah.
And so it's very difficult for me. I'm very close with my parents, but it's difficult and very challenging to think about my parents, who were the ones who disciplined me for so many years and told me that, they taught me right from wrong, and they, I got yelled at when I didn't do something right, to talk about, the intimacies or the intricacies too of a relationship with your partner. Now, parents can also be very insightful on relationships and the things that they have gone through in their own relationship, but it's very difficult and for me to relate to that into the level of it being a friend, where I could just call up a friend and say, you know what, you've been out there, you've been dating, you've been married, whatever, and what it's like for somebody like, at my age level, who isn't going to judge me and hasn't, didn't used to change my diapers.
Yeah.
But I know that there are a lot of people out there who have that relationship with their parent. So, but what you nailed it on saying, when you go into a situation where you are going to vent to your parent about your significant other, and you come at it from a place of absolute emotion, like you are upset, angry, hurt, whatever it is, you are going to say things that you aren't going to want. You're going to regret some of the things that you say.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
It just happens, yeah.
And so when you cool down, when your head levels out, and you kind of see everything from that, you're going to say, oh, man, I wish I hadn't said that.
Yeah.
And so it is very hard. And so I relate to Caspin in that way, because when the emotions take over, she's got this anxiety that bubbles up, and she's got to get it out. There's got to be the release valve that has to go and get it, just feel better and have someone understand you. But what cost does that have for you to, especially when it comes to your parent? Because your parent's always going to want what's best for you. And if you're talking about a relationship where, you're angry, or this person did something, and that's all they hear about when you come crying to them to tell them that. Yeah,
you don't come crying about the good times.
Yeah.
You update your Facebook status saying you had a good time, and your parents aren't on Facebook, so they don't see it anyway.
Yeah. And when you are in a relationship with someone else, the trust level that you have with them is something that transcends even the even the relationship that you have with your parents, because there is something there that only the two of you share. It's the connection that you make with each other. And there are intimacies that you have with people that you shouldn't share with somebody else. So if you come to them and say, you tell them a situation that happened, and then your parent now knows this deep secret about your relationship, they're automatically going to form an opinion, whether they want to or not, about your significant other.
Yeah.
And that's not fair to them.
No, it's not.
And Navox in the chat room just said it very well. Your significant other is going to feel betrayed if it ever comes to light that you were talking to others about your relationship with anybody other than them. Even if you come in and say, I was upset and I didn't think we were going to get back together and I needed somebody to talk to, then if you have that situation where you guys get back together, and they know that all these people know what happened between you, what is that? It doesn't set a good tone.
It makes for very awkward Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners. With little sly comments as your mother-in-law hands you the gravy, or your father-in-law gets you something out of the, would you like another roll? And then like throw in like some snide comment under his breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awkward.
And so, can't talk. Caspian was talking about how she has been in therapy before. If therapy can be afforded and continued, I would highly recommend that you do that, continue. Because therapy is the safe place where you can talk about this stuff without your therapist is not going to sit across from your significant other at Christmas dinner and pass her the rolls.
Unless your therapist is in the family, in which case I don't know if that's a good idea.
Exactly. No, not a good idea at all.
It just gets worse and worse.
Really bad.
I agree though. Yeah, definitely use your therapist as as the release valve. That would be the proper place for the release valve, I would think.
Yeah. And if in the absence of the opportunity to have a therapist, a close friend to me is a lot better than even a parent in that respect. To help you through relationship problems. Because I do feel like you have this issue of needing to get that reassurance. I have it too. In moments of crisis, I feel like I have to talk to everybody, which is not a good thing. I should not be telling as many people as I feel like I want to tell to get it off my chest what's going on. And so it is something that I struggle with personally. I struggle with it a lot. And I have this thing where I don't say anything at all and I internalize it, which really sucks because it comes out in the worst ways possible. Or I will want to tell I will want to tell my story to everybody. And that's not fair, nor is it fair to the other person. Because if it involves another person, you don't need everybody in the world to know the story behind what happened with that other person. When I was going through my divorce, I was actually very tight-lipped about it. There were only like 2 or 3 people that actually knew what was happening. And, because it was better that way. It was better that people didn't know the actual story about what was happening and why I had to keep leaving work, because I was, going to therapy appointments and marriage counseling and all that stuff. And, but the overshare thing is a normal thing for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just realizing what the damage it can do is.
Yeah. That's the key, is that, it's a good way to, sharing your problems is a good way to deal with them because, it's more shoulders to share the burden.
Yeah.
And, I always want my friends to come to me when they have an issue, and I try not to be judgmental on things like that. But, you do have to have that kind of, you have to have your hindsight ahead of you. You got to think about what, if you look back in a little, farther into the, let me try and get that thought together a little bit better. Take 2. If you can think into the think about in the future, if you're looking back at the situation, will you have to do any damage control? Will you have to is this going to be an issue? Are you going to have awkward Christmas dinners potentially? And are you, think about that, because whenever I have issues, there's friends, I only have, I can count on less than an entire hand the number of people I would tell something to. And these are friends of mine that have either been lifelong friends, or they're friends that know me, better than almost anybody in the world. And they don't judge. They understand who I am on a deeply personal level, more so than the average Joe. And even most of my other regular friends. And these are the people that I can go to and tell almost anything to. And so, in addition to the counselor, that's, if you have I know you said you don't have a lot of, really, I don't know how close your two closest friends are, if they're friends like I'm speaking about or not. But if they are, then they hopefully understand.
Yeah.
And, I was trying to figure out where I was going with that, but I think you probably kind of get it. But.
I do, and I want to take it and turn it a little bit, actually turn
Sure,
it
yeah.
right around, because
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to ask you a question, because you are a person that a lot of people will feel comfortable coming to and kind of unburdening some of those things that come and you deal with. What kind of effect does it have on you when you have that information?
Like, does it make? Well, I mean, I take it, and I know, and I own it. I know it. It doesn't affect me really negatively. There's been times in the past where things come up, like in college or something, where things have come up between two of my friends, and I know both sides of the story, and I love them both very much. And it is awkward being in the middle of things like that. And a couple times in band where it'd be a breakup, or there would be an issue with some of the musicians, and it would be just, I understand, but I'm good at keeping enough of a distance mentally from it to where it doesn't affect me personally, because I know we're all human, we all mess up. There's things that people screw up sometimes, and it doesn't mean that you're, that you're, that other person's not a bad person. Like there was, talking about getting personal, there was a thing that happened with one of my good trombone playing friends, and between him and my now wife, some bad things happened, and I was very mean to him. I flat out threatened him not to kill him, but to hurt him really badly. Um, and and he learned. We were nice to each other enough in passing, the rest of the time that he was in college. And he I think it was 2 years ago now, this time of year, he had killed himself. Walked in front of a semi on purpose and
Oh my gosh.
gone. And I never formally apologized for being mean to him. I think we were nice enough to each other. I'm still friends with him on Facebook.
Wow.
But he I pray that he knows that I am not that mean person that that said those mean and awful things to him that day in band, in front of a lot of people.
Yeah. And wow.
And it's just, and so yeah, it's, when you bring it to over, and I shared a bit there, but just, it kind of, if you expand it, know that words hurt.
Yeah.
And when you're relaying these things about your relationship to people, think about how it could hurt somebody, how it could hurt your ex or your girlfriend, your husband, your family member, if it's something with your family. And when you're telling these people, telling your friends these things, make sure that they know that this is not the entire story. Whenever I am talking to someone, I make sure they know that this is my side of the story. There are things that I don't even know about the other side. And so just take that into account as well.
What I find amazing in this situation, talking about this, is that you were able to take, when you're hearing about things that are happening, and sometimes it affects you in that way. But for the most part, I mean, you've learned an amazingly powerful lesson in what it is to take someone else's situation and become involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so that is very, very powerful what you shared. And what I was actually trying to reach for, which is like you actually, I mean, you did more than I ever imagined, was that when you share these things with other people, there is an impact that happens to the other person. And you don't know the level of impact that it happens to. But Mark Honan, in today, where you're in your 30s today, you can often take that information and not turn it into something else that becomes part of you, or it sends out to the other person. But you don't always know that with everybody. You don't know what your friend who you got on the phone with to bitch about your relationship with is going through in their own head, and what they feel about the person who you are dating. I mean, you do know, but you don't. And so, I've had this conversation before with you guys about how when we when we pop the release valve, and we have to vent, that energy gets sent out to other people, and it just winds up becoming it becomes a spiral effect in certain cases. And I want to, I just want to have Caspin understand that there is impact. When you vent to other people, you tell people things about your relationship, it's an impact on them, the person who hears it, because they form an opinion about the person you're talking about, whether you want them to or not. And
it's natural.
It's natural. And then the person who you're in the relationship with is supposed to be the person that you're closest to. Now that someone else has become involved with that information, it is now not just you and them. And if you've told a number of people about this situation, it's now you, them, and more people.
Yeah.
And that will damage trust, which she already knows. Caspin is clearly understanding this, and gets that. So how do you do this? How do you blow off steam about a situation and get help without damaging your relationship? The way I do it is that sometimes I sit down and I write. I just write. I open up a notepad or on the computer or a pen and paper, and I just write about what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. And it just can be stream of consciousness stuff. Emotions, feelings, thoughts, say all the things that are in my head that, if Arcane upsets me about something, sorry, Kane, if Arcane upsets me about something and why I'm frustrated, it just, sometimes in my head, I write it out, or if I, in that kind of thing, and it just to help you form the thoughts. It's just like, oh my gosh. And then, because a lot of times you're feeling emotions, but you don't understand what they are. And you don't understand their root cause. So before you go, and before I go and Arcane just said I never upset you, Jules, in the chat room.
I've never
love you,
seen
honey.
it.
But before I go and just blast everything, and share a ton of information with somebody or vent or that kind of thing, I'm trying to get it sorted out in my head. I will share something very personal. The day that Rem decided to quit this show, Mark Honan was the first person that I contacted. Arcane knew what was happening, but Mark Honan was the first person that I contacted. And mainly it was just for me to just say, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
And to tell him, to somebody who didn't know a thing about what was, and try to just help and just to get it out, like somebody has to know this and help me with this. And he was the first person that I talked to about it. And he helped calm me down because it was really hard. So, so I don't even remember, but I don't think I bitched. I don't think I was like, rah, and shared all this stuff. It was just like, what just happened? This is what happened. Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah, like you were saying with your writing, it was a stream of consciousness.
And so, but he was the first person that I talked to. And, but it was for me to start forming those thoughts, to try to figure out what happened, where I was going to go from here, what was going to happen. And it was extremely helpful for me because my head was spinning like a I don't even know what it is, just a gyroscope. It was just spinning. And I don't know what, and you don't even know where to start. And so another person can be awesome to help you with that. But when it comes to relationships and your spouse, man, you got to be so careful about, talking about those things and sharing intimate details, because when things do settle down, that information stays out. And it is there, and you cannot take them back.
It's like anything else on the internet. It's on the internet. Can't take it off the internet.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
do you think that the marriage is probably just like the one thing, marriage, relationships, like, interpersonal, like, relationships like that are probably like the be all end all of like, this is the golden rule of relationships, is that, you don't share all of the intimate details about this.
Yeah. It's like Fight Club. You don't talk about Fight Club. Yeah, and I do think that's, and I'm guilty of it. That's the one thing that as far the marriage thing, it should be just between the two of you. I mean, and like I said, I've failed in that way a couple times of speaking more than I should. And, I have my feet to the fire tonight, in my mind, thinking about, well, crud, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't, these instances are coming to my mind, and I'd forgotten some of them, but, and well, and when you have those cases, you really, really have to be careful about what you say, and not to blast the other person, and not to make them out to be the bad guy, because they're hardly ever the bad guy all the time. It's usually you are sometimes, a lot of the time too.
Well, it takes two to tango in
exactly.
anything.
Exactly.
If you're in a relationship, there's two people involved, and there's two people's baggage to deal with in that. And so nobody is without fault in every situation. I mean,
absolutely.
There is some culpability because you're part of it. So the thing about that I find with relationships is that we wind up, we fall in love with somebody. They're your best friend. They're the person that you choose to spend the rest of your life with if you get married. But then when relationships tend to go south is where the communication stops. There is no more communication. There is no discussion. And then all of a sudden there's a conflict, and you can't talk about the other person about the conflict, and therefore it winds up going outside, and that's where the problems start. And
you won't believe what you did earlier today when you said, "Yeah, I like green beans," and then you threw the plate. Man, I can't believe you did that. Can you believe you did that? Good night, honey. Love you. Well, that would be weird.
So it is a very, very, I would say it's probably the golden rule of relationships. But I also feel like the reason there are so many divorces and the relationships that don't make it is because the two people that should be talking to each other honestly and truly about the situation are not the two that are doing it. And and when you think about when our parents and our grandparents were young and getting together, divorce was not something that was as acceptable as it is now. And so there were a lot of unhappy marriages that stuck it out. Sometimes
became stronger because of it.
It sometimes became stronger.
Yeah, because they didn't have Facebook. They didn't have a way to tweet their friends from high school that they haven't seen in 15 years to tell them, "Hey, I saw your picture. You're really looking good. You lost a lot of weight. Would you like to have dinner next time you're in town?"
Yeah.
None of this other weird stuff. They didn't have that.
No.
So,
but it was also just not something that people did. I mean, once you decided to commit to someone, it was you were together for 40 years, and you did all of that kind of thing. So, the suggestions that I would make, just to kind of wrap this up a little bit for Caston, is I write. If you don't like to write, sit in a quiet room with some music and just literally stop everything and just start thinking about what you are, bullet pointed in your head. Break it down to the basic details. What started this? Where did this start? Pragmatically look at it. If you have the urge to pick up the phone and call a friend, think about the impact that it will have on that other person when you share what you need to share. In the heat of emotion, it's very hard to do that, and I
Yeah.
totally get it. But
And those friends you do talk to have to have those caveats that this is only one side of the story, and I'm venting. I need a shoulder to lean on. So if you do end up talking to your friends, make sure they understand how it is. And try not to give away too much.
yeah, and accept the responsibility for the things that you have contributed to the situation, because no matter what, I can pretty much guarantee that there was something that you did that probably wasn't the best, that you could have done better.
Yeah.
Accept responsibility for the things you could have done better, because a lot of times that is when things start to turn around. When you stop being so mad at the other person and say, well, you know what? I probably shouldn't have yelled at you in the middle of the grocery store. So
I mean, I really did not need 2 boxes of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I know it. I'm sorry. I should have just got the one, and so you could get the grape nuts, and we'd have the 2 that we have and we like. But I really wanted that second box. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but I will never go shopping with you again, because you just embarrassed me with your Cinnamon Toast Crunch obsession, and I cannot be seen with you again.
But it makes the milk all cinnamony. They're delicious. How could you not want 2 boxes? I don't even know you.
Oh no!
People-
Did I lose you? Did I lose you? No, don't go away, Mark Oden. I think I lost him. Oh, there you go. You caught up. No, you didn't.
No, I'm still here.
Okay, good. It all of a sudden just went whoop.
Yeah, sorry about that. Don't know what
Absolutely.
happened.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Good luck to you, Caspin. It sounds like your relationship is strong, that you're happy. But talk about, with your girlfriend, talk about the trust things. It's very important to talk about that stuff too. So in any case, I wish you guys luck. And maybe just a second thought before you run to dump everything on somebody else the next time that it comes around. Because it will. I mean, everybody has to deal with stress. So, and with that, oh, by the way, if you want to send us a request for advice, you can do so by sending that to questions@taurenThinkTank.com. We appreciate all of your emails. Thank you guys so much for asking for our advice, and we are super excited to get them. And with that, we are going to do some Tell Us One Thing.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
All right. You want to start the first one?
Sure. This one's from Mimmonth. You have a vial of transmorphic tincture, and it lasts a week. And Jules, do you know what that is?
I think so. I have to click the link to look at it. Hang on a second. It's
Yeah.
a Wowhead link.
Well, it's an alchemy potion that turns your gender.
Oh.
You become the opposite
Gotcha.
sex
Okay.
for a bit. So yeah, so you have that, and it lasts a week. All your clothing adapts to your temporary gender as well. What is the most difficult part of the change? What would be the best part?
Okay. So then Julana the druid would become Julana the male druid.
Yeah.
I would probably get some much bigger shoulders. So the most difficult part of the change, I think my boots would be a little bigger than I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. Okay, so I was at the gas station the other day, and and there was this girl who was walking from her car into the convenience store in the gas station. She was wearing a pair of those UGG boots, those big clunky ones, and all you heard on the ground was as she dragged her feet because she couldn't pick her feet up high enough for her to walk, like pick up her foot. So it was like this sliding, crashing sound every time she walked.
So she was skiing.
Yeah, and so I would totally be like that when I would be walking around in some dude's boots.
Yeah.
That's what it'd be. That's probably. And then the best part would be I could probably carry a bigger sword because I'd have a bigger belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the best part and the worst part. What about you? You'd turn into a girl.
Female gnome.
A
Yeah.
girl.
I actually have a few of those in my inventory, and I actually used it yesterday to see what it looked like. And female Marconin has RBF, resting bitch face. She looks like she smelled something bad on her shoe and she can't get it off. Like she's with
got
a
stank
scowl
face?
on her face. She's got stank face or bitter beer face or whichever it is. You know. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
she.
great.
So yeah, and so yeah, I use that. So I mean, let's see, the most difficult part of the change would probably be hearing my own voice,
Oh, yeah.
and just I wouldn't be used to it
No, that's very true.
because yeah, I wouldn't be used to it. And the best part, I guess, would be hmm, gosh, I don't. A lot of people like to make fun of gnomes. Is there any good part about being a gnome? Yes, yes, there is. But oh gosh, what would be the best part?
Pigtails.
Mhm. Yeah, pigtails. There you go. I guess. Yeah, I'd have to change.
Pigtails.
Yeah, there you go. That's all I could think of.
That's fun. I think that would be awesome to be, you'd be a guy the whole time, and then all of a sudden you could have your hair be all cool, like styles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
kind of cool. I don't
yeah.
know.
You could have like the Doc Brown hair for the male. Kind of you could have Marconan's hair
I could have
'cause that's
Marconan's hair.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could because the night elves had that hairstyle first.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. The next one from Southern Samuel. What would the Triple T Garrison building be? What would we have?
Oh goodness, what would it be? Would it be like a studio? It could be like maybe something kind of along the lines of like a gnomish or a gnomish like engineering thing because there's all this technology to broadcast the podcast out.
Oh yeah, so it'd be. Oh no, it'd be the
Yeah.
dance party building.
Dance studio, yes.
It'd be the dance studio, because then you'd have Marconin in the booth doing the DJ.
Yeah,
You DJ music, and
Yep.
then I would be the bartender,
there you go.
dishing out the advice at the bar.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Just just have the towel over your shoulder, just leaning on the bar, like listen to other people, sliding drinks around. Yeah.
Lend me an ear.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So it would be the Triple T dance studio Garrison.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
Midnight said it would have several couches in it in a bar. Yeah, most definitely. It would have a lot
There
of
you go.
couches in it.
Yeah, a lot of relaxed seating when you're not
Yes.
dancing to my sweet tunes.
You totally made the sassy neck.
Yeah. Yeah, those of you who did not watch the live show do not get the sassy neck or the triple snap that I just
my
did.
God.
You heard it, but you didn't see it because you weren't here.
Sassy tunes, man.
Oh yeah, Arcane, like we need to have a triple T karaoke hour.
Oh my gosh. So what? Okay, I'm gonna ask
club-
you a tell us one thing question. What's your
Okay.
karaoke song?
Oh man. Like I've only done it once
Really?
in real life. I've only done
really?
karaoke once. Yeah. And it was a few years ago in Texas. And I'm a big fan of James Taylor, his songs and stuff.
Yeah.
I grew up on his music. And so I was like, well, and plus he's one of the few baritones in popular music because I'm a baritone when I sing. And that's, in between, for those who don't, in between tenors and basses, you get the baritone. So I have a little bit of both worlds. So there's very few singers that have that range. And James Taylor is one of them. And so I picked Sweet Baby James, which is one of his more famous songs, and just sang that at the bar after a couple drinks so I could sing. And it was okay. It wasn't bad. But I'm trying to think if there was one, Baby Got Back. I would definitely do that one at a
Oh
karaoke.
my
if I
gosh, that
could.
would be
'Cause
hilarious.
I know all the words. All the words.
Oh, that would
So
be
maybe we should
hilarious.
have that happen sometime.
That would be hilarious. Oh my gosh.
What's your karaoke song?
So my karaoke song, apparently I can sing like the girl from Evanescence. I can
Oh, yeah,
I can
Amy Lee.
sing like her. And so Bring Me to Life is a song that I have done on karaoke, and but it's a duet on karaoke. So
Yeah.
the male DJ, he grabs the mic and he starts doing the rap part behind me. And so I am up there just belting it out, and people in the audience are like, holy crap, where does that range? I mean, because apparently that's like right in my sweet spot range.
Yeah, yeah.
So man, it was hilarious. So, but that's my karaoke song, is Bring Me to Life by
All right.
Evanescence.
If we ever get a chance, I'll do the Bring Me Down.
Bring me down, bring me
Wake me up.
up.
Can I go around?
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. Very, very cool.
They're from Arkansas too. I
Are
know.
they?
Yeah, they're from Little Rock. I know somebody who he knows the old manager of the band, like before they got huge, and so that they're from here.
Oh, very cool. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really cool.
her voice. That woman is amazing. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I love her voice. Okay, next one.
Yes. Next one comes from Sergeant Zim. Any Garrison burnout yet? For me, I'm tired of the mines. So cheap to just buy. I have 8 Garrisons, LOL.
8?
So, 8 Garrisons.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me just say this about 8 Garrisons. That is insanity, and no wonder you're burnt out, Sergeant Sim.
Yeah.
Like, that is a lot of work, especially if they're above level 1.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
seriously.
That's a lot of Garrisons. Like that's a lot. That's a whole lot of herb gardens, whole lot of mines. I don't know what all your different makeup is besides what you've got in your progressions, professions. I had a Jules slip right there.
My profession sucks.
Yeah, my profession socks. I mean progression socks. Oh, whichever one.
That's great.
Goodness. Well, do you have any burnout yet? Or are you still enjoying them?
The mines are a little bit of a burnout, mainly because I just don't have a lot of use for all of the ore that I have, and you can't sell it on the auction house because everybody's got a frickin' mine. So it's the prices of ore are gone, and so I think that but surprisingly, I find that I use the herb garden quite often because I have an alchemist, I have an inscriptionist on my monk, and then I have so I use all of that. So I'm using the herbs from both of them, creating and doing that. And I think it's all dependent upon your professions. Now I'm sure that there are a lot of people who have professions that use but the market is so just drained.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard to offload that stuff. So I'm at the point where I'm almost going to be just vendoring it, which just seems so wrong.
Yeah, that's something we have. I don't think we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Except for maybe copper ore. But then even again, copper ore was still worth something. It was worth like at least a gold a stack or something.
Seriously, I'd go out on a new tune if I were on like a brand new server, and I would pick up herbalism and mining, and I would sell all the stuff, and I would always make decent money selling it all off on the auction house and then making money for that tune that didn't have an economy on that server. So it's really a difference in how I don't know anybody who's really in need of having all the extra ore that we're all pulling out of our mines. So that's the part where I'm a little bit burnt out. Otherwise, though, it just feels, to me, I always feel like I haven't gotten my rhythm yet because there's always something new that's been introduced to the garrison that, so when I go in, usually the first thing I do is I check my followers' missions. Okay. Now, before I got the rhythm down, I realized that I shouldn't send them all out on missions before I go and put a follower in the buildings that they should be in before I set up my work orders.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of this thing about just learning how to do what and where and when. And sometimes I'll say, oh, I picked up this quest and I can go run out to Shadow Moon Valley and take care of it. And then I should have done something else while I was out there. And it's just, I'm always looking for that kind of like flow of time. It should be in the right direction. And I wind up wasting a lot of time because I'm like, I just went back and did this. Shoot, I forgot to send my followers out on missions when I went out to quest, or, like today was a lot of cleanup. And my lumber mill, the lumber mill is awesome because you're getting garrison resources, but lumber is a bit of a commodity thing. You know, you have to find it and you have to stockpile it. But I realized today you can only stockpile 250 pieces of lumber at a time. And so after I was going and picking up lumber and I couldn't pick up any more because I had 250. So I was just this whole, like, I'm still learning so much that I'm not burnt out on my garrison yet. That was my roundabout way of saying that.
Yeah. I'm not burnt out either just yet. I have the stables, so I'm working through my mounts at the moment, trying to get all of them. Got 2 of the 6, but there's actually 2 other ones that are attached to achievements that you can get.
Yes.
So there's a total of 8. So I'm working on that. I have the jewel crafting profession building, although my Marconan's an herbalist alchemist. So I have the full on herb garden. I have the alchemy thing, but I sell the true iron I just whatever the auction house price is, I'm just like go.
You're
It's
selling
free
it that
gold.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, just sell it. Just sell on the auction house. For the Blackrock ore, I use that for the jewel crafting cooldown for the Talidite crystals. And I haven't done a thing with jewel crafting yet, but it was just something for me to put somewhere. I was like, jewel crafting, I can use the ore for things. So I use that.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm not burnt out on it yet. I did my first invasion last week.
Oh, cool.
So that's
Did you
cool.
recruit people to come help you?
I did, and I got a silver medal. I got the silver time.
Okay.
There's 4 mounts attached to the bag that you get for the gold reward, so I need help getting the gold rewards all the time. So doing that. So I'm not burnt out yet either. I just granted I don't have 8 garrisons, but I think if I did, I would be
I have no
by this
idea
point.
how you can
And
do
we're
it.
and we're only we're not even a month really into the expansion, so
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see how that goes over the next couple years.
Absolutely. No burnout yet, but that could be coming pretty soon if you overdo it, is my thought.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And
Yeah.
finally, from Muzzy AIE, who from Azeroth learns the true meaning of Winter Veil this season and has their heart grow 3 sizes?
Well, before Warlords came out, I would say Gary, but there are things that happen in the expansion to where that would not be possible.
No,
So
don't spoil nothing.
no, I'm not spoiling a thing. If you haven't finished Nagrand, you need to.
Yes, you do.
Like, you need to. Like, I was in silence for like 3 or 4 minutes afterwards. But I would say, who would be the most grinchiest person in the game? I'm thinking maybe one of the warlords, like maybe Blackhand.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he's not really keen on it, but I'll think about it. What do you think, Jules? Do you have an idea yet?
I'm struggling on this one because there's some baddies out there. I don't know. Maybe this is the maybe this is the season that Deathwing realizes that he's been a bad boy. You know, Deathwing, he kind of got defeated and taken down and that kind of thing. I just I feel like Deathwing has a moment where the dragons go, "Do you know how awful you've been? Could you please stop?" And he goes, "I've been terrible. Merry Christmas, everybody! Merry
To all a
Christmas,
good
Stormwind!
night."
I'm sorry for burning your house down."
It'd be like on It's a Wonderful Life, and when he's like running through the streets, "Merry Christmas, bank and loan. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Ironforge.
Who's the
Merry
cheese shop
Christmas,
guy?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I would think maybe it'd be kind of like a Scrooge type thing, where it'd be like maybe Trade Prince Gallywix
Mhm.
or something. One of the goblins who's really driven by greed. He just, it's kind of like one of those things where he finds the spirit of Wintervale, and it's like, I'm gonna donate a whole bunch of money to all these things, and I'm gonna feed Tiny Tim and his family, and all this other kind of stuff. Really
Gallywix is
like
good.
like he yeah, because I mean, well, he's already kind of green already, like the Grinch was, so he needs to just kind of, his heart grows 3 times the size is too big or whatever, and starts getting like he opens up like soup kitchens and stuff for all the people affected still by the cataclysm who still haven't recovered completely, and he makes some donations to the rebuilding of Ashenvale, maybe for the Night Elves, because he feels bad about what happened there. I don't know, something like that.
Awesome.
Spreading the Wintervale cheer.
We'll probably have more of a winter Vale themed show towards the end of the year. Holy crap!
Now you don't need to be talking about spoilers.
No spoilers.
Everybody just forget what happened earlier.
Yeah,
Shh.
yeah.
We didn't say anything the last 30 seconds.
Nothing.
Shoots.
Nothing. All right, so that is our Tell Us One Thing of the night. A little shorter tonight because we didn't get a ton of them, but that's okay. We can keep the show down a little bit. We got a lot of updates and feedback stuff. So let's go ahead and play the bumper.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you... Wow, that's a lot of feedback.
All right, you want to read the update?
Absolutely. This is the update from the week. Of the week. From the week by the week. Dear Triple T, you've said many times you like getting updates. Well, This one is a mixed blessing. I can now say that all of the dreams I've had actually happened later, not all ended in death. Not all ended in death. That said, I'm still unable to say I've had anything good come from them. That's the good news. I did say it's a mixed blessing, so what's the bad news? I have only one dream left that I can remember, and the idea of it happening terrifies me. For context, think of a cage, a big, strong cage. Now lock it. And again, again, again. Keep adding locks until you can't see the cage anymore. What would you put in such a cage? I can't see what I put in mine, but I can see most of the locks I put there are gone. I can see the bars are warped. I can see the claw marks on the iron bars. I'm sure you've guessed my one and only fear at this point. Clearly, I don't want it out. And yet, no matter what I've tried, it truly feels all roads really do lead to Rome. Kind of crap update, I know, but there it is. From Draven Dresden, aka Why So Serious, aka Little XT.
So Draven actually, I mean, when we answered his question, I was calling him Davin, and so he gently let me know that it was not the right thing for pronunciation. So thank you for pronouncing it right for me.
That's okay.
And Marconin, thank you for pronouncing it right tonight.
You're welcome.
If you guys don't remember from previous shows, this is Draven Dresden, who talked about the dreams and the lack of dreaming and the lack of sleep. We've had a couple of updates and questions related to that one. And this is definitely not the most upbeat of updates, of course, but I think he's here every night, every night that he's here and connects with our chat room, and I have to think that there is some good that comes with connecting with others who play the game and who have similar interests. So hopefully we have helped at least to make you smile and make things a little bit easier on you in the light of not being able to pursue therapy and get some support on that. So, but we thank you for the update. Really appreciate it. And for all of our listeners who do write us, we always love to get those updates and read them when we can. So please do so. It's questions@taurenThinkTank.com. We have a number of things from feedback, which is pretty cool. From Gerlach1025 on YouTube. Wrote this on our YouTube channel.
Hey.
You can get Arnold for your Garrison, Marconin. You just need to complete an achievement in the slag mines. His name is Crowman the Barbarian.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those things later on, and I was completely unaware that guy. I've seen Crowman before. I didn't know that he was an Arnold representation. So that's awesome. Even the achievement is called "Come with me if you want to live."
I know, it's so awesome. And so we got this on our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching us on YouTube, Gerlach1025. And and then yesterday I was doing those heroics and I got the slag mines, and we went and Arsimi says, "Do you want to get the follower?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so we go and it's like, "Oh, it's Crowman." And so we wound up picking it up, and he wound up becoming epic for both of us for Arcane.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we were super excited by that. So I was like, here we are last week talking about getting Arnold for our Garrison, and we could totally do that.
No, I just need to get him.
You got to go get him. Well, we'll go run some heroics this weekend still.
Yeah. I got some time.
Okay. And the next
All
one?
right. Ryan Smith 18 says, with the removal of flying, my PvP server actually feels like a PvP server for the first time in years. Loving it.
I thought about that today. So you have the stables, right? You have the stables in your Garrison. So there's a part of some of the quest line that sends you into Frostfire Ridge. And that's the Horde territory for us Alliance folks. And so I got those quests today, and I wound up figuring out how the hell am I supposed to get into Frostfire Ridge, because I don't have
It's a bit of a challenge first
is.
time.
You got to figure out how to get there. And so I can totally imagine what it would be like for a PvP server to have to venture into those territories where the opposite faction is working. So this is somebody who's like totally into having keeping the removal of flying out of the game.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I can that further cements my belief that I am not a person for the PvP servers, because I kind of like walking around and seeing the sights without constantly having rogues gank me.
Yes, yes.
So I'm just a mage. Come on now.
I'm really torn on the no flying thing. I really
Hmm.
like the opportunity to ride around and see the everything. I know that once I jump on a flying mount, I'm just beelining it to what I want. It's easy to
Yep.
farm stuff, but there are times where I'm out there and there's that timber up on the hill over there that I would just
Uh-huh.
love to be able to pop my flying mount out for to go grab it because it's
Yep.
so freaking hard to find where the spot is to get up there. And I just frustrated the hell out of myself to get it. But I do think it still is a good decision. And Blizzard this week talked about how they're increasing their flight paths in the next patch to give us more flight paths so we can be able to reach those places a little bit quicker too.
Yeah,
So
and I do kind of miss it because I miss, even though I have all these flying mounts, and of course they'll work, on the ground, but it I just I kind I just I'm kind of enjoying all the old ground mounts that I haven't used in years, being able to use them and
I
walk
know.
around on them,
I
because
know.
there's tons of mounts that I just don't use because they can't fly. And like my Turbo Strider from the Argent tournament, that
Yep.
red flame print Meccano Strider, love that thing.
Yep. Yep.
And so I'm running around on it until I get tired of the ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Like, can they put a muffler on it or something? Just make it quieter, please.
I saw on Twitter, I think yesterday, Olivia Grace asked someone to create an add-on for people to mute the sound of the Horde chopper because it was so
Hmm.
loud and people who would pop that open. So someone created an add-on that you can actually mute mount sounds from it if you wanted to, if your mount
Yeah.
makes too much noise.
All right,
So
I'm gonna have to look into that then.
yeah, apparently it's now out there. So
Sweet.
yes. Um, the next one, I'm actually going to put the link in the chat room right now. This came from Faux Shizzle.
Yeah,
And
so I
this
remember
made
this.
us crack up like crazy. Faux Shizzle is a really, really talented artist. And he drew a picture of the Shadow Moon Valley Girl after our discussion about Valley Girls and our little back and forth that we had on last week's show. And it is awesome. You need to check this out on Twitter. His name is
Like, for
Faux
sure.
Shizzle. It's FOSHYZZL. And we also retweeted this on our account last week. Very, very cute. So you need
Hmm.
to check that out. And thank you again for that drawing because it killed us both. We just giggled our heads off.
Oh yeah.
The last one we have, hey, Jules and Marconin, I'm just now catching up from BlizzCon. Work's been crazy, and there's been this really cool expansion that dropped. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Marconin. Got to meet him at BlizzCon and talk for a while. Tried to meet Jules too, but only saw her. The only time I saw her, she was talking to a bunch of people. Oh man. So my question for you guys is, how did you guys approach leveling this expansion? I'm taking it really slow. I'm only level 98, and I'm taking my time reading all the quests, but it's hard to not feel like I'm slacking, looking at everyone in the guild, and I feel like I'm leveling too slow. I wanted to raid Molten Core, but it'll take me a while. How does one focus on enjoying the game while I may be missing out on raid teams forming up? Thanks, guys. From Suku and Sai? Suku Kinsai?
That's Suku Kinsei, I think.
Suku Kinsei.
He goes by
Suk.
Suk for short, because that's how I met him. He said his name was Suk.
Oh,
And
awesome.
and he was really awesome to talk to. He like ran up to me, like ran after, because I was just walking around the lobby, and he ran up to me. We talked for, gosh, I don't know, like 20-30 minutes, and it was
Nice.
really, really cool. And he's a real cool guy who talked about a lot of different things. Met a couple of his friends there too, and it's really awesome to hear back from you, man. It was great meeting you.
Ah,
But
I'm sad
I
I didn't get a chance to meet him.
Yeah, I might be able to next time though.
Yeah.
We'll go next. We'll try for it next time. But
Excuse me, Mike.
for the
Stupid
for the
cough.
question, I don't think you're leveling too slowly, because man, this is your $15 a month. This is your expansion, and the cool thing about it is all the raid teams are flex now.
Mhm.
So even if you don't get it on a core raid team, that are starting to raid this week or next week, you can always become, like for me, like by the time Cat on Fire starts, I'll probably be traveling again, so I
Yep.
won't be able to raid with her. So, I mean, you'll be able to fit into any of the teams. So if any of the teams like, hey, we could use another DPS, or just get in on a team, you'll be fine. That's the awesome thing, is that the raids go up to 30 people now. So
Yeah.
you can always use another DPS or another, because I think you played a monk. I can't remember. I think that was the one you said you really enjoying your monk. But anyway, enjoy the game. This is one of the most immersive experiences for the expansion that I've had in a long time, and I adored Mists of Pandaria.
Mhm.
So for me to say that is something, because you're a commander, you're in there, you're in it.
Mhm.
Enjoy it, soak in the entire game. Enjoy the leveling experience. Really enjoy yourself. Level 100, you'll be level 100 the rest of the expansion.
Yeah.
This is your first time going through the quests, and I still need to finish Spires of Rock.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go down in there and get those quests out of my quest log and see how the Arakoa are doing. So enjoy yourself.
Nice.
Enjoy it.
I agree. And, he's in Convert to Raid, obviously. A
Mhm.
guild that has a lot of people. And I can tell you for certain that there will be teams that will be taking their time when it comes to getting into the raids. And there are, there's a lot of people who just gunned it up and hit the top level and are raiding at top level and all that stuff. They're pushing to do heroics, and some are going into mythic. But
Mhm.
there are a lot of people out there, especially in Convert to Raid. We have, 6,000 people in that guild, and there's a lot of raid teams that are going to be taking it slower, getting themselves going. And if you start meeting some folks who are raiding and they have a team, that's when you can tuck in and maybe join them for a normal run or something like that. So
Mhm.
enjoy what you have. You're only going to see this content for the first time once,
Mhm.
and so
And as
enjoy
for
it.
Yeah, and as for Molten Core, you have a month from today. You have till January 6th to get in there on Molten Core. I'm sure
Yeah.
towards the end of it, people that took it slow are going to be getting in there. So
Yeah.
you won't be the only one that took your time getting to 100. Or, because a lot of people, if they're in college or if they're school, they don't have the time to grind to 100 right now until Christmas break or winter break or what have you. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And if you need some people to run Molten Core with, just look it up in our channel, or come say hi to me, and I'll run it with you if I can.
Yeah.
So
Our event planners
you got plenty
too.
of people.
All I
Yeah.
did was ask an event planner if we could put together a Molten Core run. They're like, yeah, sure. So we've done that twice now. We're going to do another one on Monday. And people just sign up like crazy. There's usually just a couple spots left by the time the day of it comes. And then, that's 40 people right there.
Mhm.
So absolutely. All right. Thank you for writing in. Suko Kinsei. Is that a nice
Yeah.
name? Okay.
I think that's the way you pronounce it.
All right. And with
It's my
that,
stab.
Sook, we can call you Sook. And with
Yep.
that, we're going to do some Slash Moves. From Bayless, wow. Slash Moves to the devs who built High Mall. Damn, that place is awesome. Makes me want to raid 5 Nights of Raiding again.
That's awesome. I can't wait to get in there.
So cool.
From Shield Love _wow. I know it's a bit early, but I'm on my Garrison, and I had to give a huge slash moo to Russell Brower for the amazing Warlords of Draenor music.
The early
can
thing
agree.
is the early thing was sending it in like a couple days before the show, which is absolutely fine. So don't worry
Yeah,
about
that's
that. You
fine.
can always send
Yeah.
them in early. From Master Jin, can I get a slash move for my wife? She worked her butt off to help me find a copy of the Warlords of Draenor Collector's Edition. Hun, I love you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This one's from Memeth /moo to @Jord_Tron_5000 for making a hashtag Pepe, for making Pepe, at your friend Pepe for being, for making
Pepe,
hashtag
that's
Pepe,
the creator of Pepe.
comma,
Yep.
your friend Pepe for being a great account. And in parentheses, they suspect that Angry Orc runs it as well.
I'm not
That
sure
Angry
about
runs
that, but
that
we'll
one.
see.
I don't know if there's enough caps for that. And finally, to @Mumper, who made the decision to put Pepe in the game.
I am
So a lot of love for Pepe in the game. I still
am
haven't.
stupidly
haven't got
obsessed with Pepe right now. Like stupidly obsessed with that little bird. And if you don't know who Pepe is, if you go into your level 3 Garrison, he's the little orange bird that's up in the trees that you can click on, and then he shows up on your head. And he's the cutest little bugger in the world. He stays there for an hour. And I love that thing. Like, it's just so stupid. I run around with the thing on my head. And I was today, I'm like, oh, I was in my resto spec, and I'm like, tree form. Can Pepe be on my... No, Pepe cannot show up on my tree form. So I'm going to tweet Warcraft devs and say, I'm a tree. For God's sake.
I was going to say, for the one place you would expect a bird to be is in a tree. That's where you find him.
So it can be on my tree head. Now, and Draven Dresden just made an excellent point, and Kane showed me this the other day. If you go to Molten Core and you get the helm from Molten Core, it is a flaming crown. So if you put that on and you show your helm, and then you have Pepe on your head, it looks like you're burning Pepe alive. It's pretty funny.
Light meat or dark?
Light
do
meat
you
or
want?
dark? Oh, he's the cutest little thing. I love him. So I want all things Pepe. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
From MacGyver, the biggest slash moo to my sweetheart, Natani Pally, whose birthday was yesterday.
Happy belated birthday, Natani. I meant to tweet you, but by the time I was going to, it was already the day after in Australia. So I missed it. So I'm very sorry.
By the way, people are clarifying in the chat room. You can get Pepe in level 1 and level 2 garrisons. He might be just a little harder to reach in those garrison levels. In level 3, he's within a branch level that you can jump for him, but he is there. So there you go. Thank you guys. I did not know that. From Orthor Gaming. Oh, sorry. This one's yours.
That's it. I was going to let you, if you wanted to, from Orthor Gaming /moo to @Warcraft devs for no flying in 6.1. I'm happy for the change. Creative uses for exploration for the win. /duck tomatoes. So he's getting tomatoes thrown at him.
No tomatoes. And finally, from Terrelin1 /moo to alternative chat for answering a garrison question from a complete stranger. That's really, you know what though? I just have to add this on real quick. Don't ever, if you are somebody who runs into somebody who you listen to on a podcast in the game, please don't feel like you are interrupting them to talk to them. I have this happen all the time where someone's like, I'm really sorry to bother you, but I just wanted to let you know how much I enjoy Triple T. And I'm like, I said this today. I was like, that's not bugging me. Are you kidding? It's like, but I know the feeling that you feel like you're interrupting somebody's game time, and it's a very polite thing to do. But please, if you want to show your support to someone that you listen to in World of Warcraft, I can pretty much guarantee you they're absolutely going to appreciate it. And so an alternative chat is an amazing resource for garrison knowledge. So I'm really happy to hear that experience happened too.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Definitely. So no iTunes reviews for this week to share. You can go out to iTunes and add a review if you'd like. It certainly does help the show. And we appreciate that as well. Let's see. I think that's pretty much everything for the moment. Mark Honan, is anything going on with you for the week? I mean, we're like wrapping up the show. I feel like we just
I know. It did really fly by.
Even though it's been almost 2 hours, right?
Oh goodness, let me see. Trying to think. Not really anything. The next week, I know I need to get into some more heroics just to get some more gear, and gosh, that's about it.
Okay.
I don't have a whole lot. I'm not really. Well, I'm kind of traveling this week for work. Like I'm going to be at a different city every day, but it's all within like an hour drive, so it's not really far out there, and I'm still going to be back here every day.
Nice.
So yeah, that's about it. It's supposed to be a kind of I've got a lot of super secret work to do. So I'm just gonna take a drink on that one and plead the fifth.
There's some creative stuff coming for you guys, and we're really excited. Really, really excited by it. We just have to get it done. So
yeah.
We had an episode of I Remembered It Better finally this week.
Yes, you did.
You did. And we'll have one next week. We should. And if all things go as planned, we will have the amazing Scott Johnson joining Cliff and I on the show. I'm super excited by that. We've asked him to come up with some of his favorite Christmas gifts. So it'll be a good nostalgic show of what things we've loved as kids, what we looked forward to at Christmas are the best gifts we've gotten. So yeah, check it out at I Remembered It Better. It's iribetter.com is the website address if you want to check it out. And I Remembered It Better on iTunes and Stitcher.
And if they wanted to do the live, are you guys doing a live show for that?
Yeah, and so on Thursday.
When is that again?
Thursday nights, 8:00 Central Time, and twitch.tv/IRIbetter. That is the
sweet.
It's very cool. And other than that,
you get to hear Ryan unfiltered on the live show.
Ryan is very unfiltered on the live show.
He is. Very unfiltered.
He's not going to be here next week, so that's why Scott's going to be there.
Yeah. So yeah, you can tune in next week or
next week
after that for the unfiltered.
And with that, I think it's time to bring this sucker home.
I think so.
Let's see. Where's my thing? Here it is. Let me bring it up just a little bit so you can hear it. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
And our voiceovers are done by the two Uba mages, Arcane and Marconin. Hey, that's me. You can find us outside of the show on our website at taurenThinkTank.com. That has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too.
Thank you to all of our patrons. We have special prizes, perks, and treats for all of our patrons at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. Your support helps us make this show even better, and we appreciate every one of you.
Yes, we do. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. You can also find us on Twitter for the show at TaurenThinkTank. Jules can be found at Jules RPG. And I, Marconin, can be found at Marconin Wow. That's MarconinWow. You can also chat with us on our forums. Come on, give us some love. You can find those at forums.signalsmedia.com.
Woohoo! Thank you, everybody. Thank you, chat room. You guys are always amazing with your discussion points and contributions to the topic at hand. For being with us tonight, hanging out with us every Saturday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank. We love seeing you guys with us, and we appreciate you getting the show on download and listening to it on your Monday mornings or whenever you listen. And with that,
on the drive to work.
On the drive to work. We love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And we will be back next week with another amazing show. Hopefully, I'll promise to do something amazing. We'll do it. So
we're going to try.
We're going to try. So for myself, for Marconin, for Arcade, until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo.
And I just screwed it up again.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
Don't.
Damn it! I have to edit that part every single time because I suck at it. I can't get it right. Oh, that's great. Oh, that was funny.
Oh, man, oh, man.
At this point, it's just going to become part of the show. The Jules is going to F up the outro music. God damn it! I'm worse on myself than anything else, though.
Oh.
Oh my gosh! All right, so you had a story to tell.
Oh man, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh gosh, I can't even remember his name, but there was these two brothers in the college band, and they, I think they both played French horn, or at least one of them did.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, they're from Romania. So English is their second language. So they're not very proficient at it. And a friend of mine named Ashley was a was a French horn player as well. And they were in orchestra together. And one day, poor guy was having trouble with the horn line. He's playing it, screwing up, playing it, screwing up. And all of a sudden he looks at his horns and goes, "This is a fuck. This is a fuck." And she was like, "What did you say?" He's like, "This is a fuck. It's a fuck." And she's like, "Oh, no, it's fuck this. Fuck this. That's how you say it." He's like, "Oh, okay." So it's just a bit of misconjugation or whatever it is.
Oh, it's great.
And
damn it, I can't put that in the outro without having to edit the crap out of it.
well, I'm sorry,
No, it's hilarious though.
Yeah, and well, there's another one. See, Ashley Mack likes the ladies, and she's a very beautiful lady, and she's actually a country singer now. And I've got all her albums, but she's a very pretty lady, and so he was coming on to her, and he's like, "So and he was trying to say something, and she was like, "Actually, I don't. I like women." And he's like, you have the lesbian. You have the lesbian. You don't like men. You have the lesbian. She's like, no, I am a lesbian. I don't have it. I am it. It's kind of like, do you have the do you have the lesbian? It's kind of like, oh, just. And
all
so
of our
she
lesbians in the chat room right now are totally going to use that line right now.
Yeah. Do you have the lesbian?
Do you have the lesbian?
Or is this can work this? How this work? But yeah, so it made for a lot of good times, and Ashley wrote that joke. Gosh, till we both graduated, it was so funny. And that's just like 20. We have the lesbian.
I know Maslow
no,
and 20 are going to appreciate the hell out of that one, man. That is awesome.
Sorry, Kane. I don't think we can use that as a. I was actually wrote down hashtag because pudding cups because we said somebody. I think Arcane said because pudding cups.
Okay,
but I can't remember the
did
context.
that come
of that.
from Navox? Like I saw something where
yes,
it scrolled by really fast.
Yeah, Navox said that, and it was talking about.
Is Nav still here?
Oh, that's what it was. We were talking about the awkward, telling your problems to your family members and leading to awkward Thanksgiving dinners and stuff like that. And Navox said, he's like, oh yeah, I told my mom about how my wife, stole all the pudding pops or something like that. And then a couple years later, your mom for Christmas or something gives you like 2 boxes and winks at you really, really, really apparently or something, So.
Oh man, the chat room. So I have a box.
Oh, you never got pudding cups, yeah.
Yeah. So the way that my stream computer is set up, I've got 2 computers. This one has the notes and this one has the stream. And so I try to face the camera that has the stream on it. And I have the chat room to the left, but it's like scrunched up so it's above where the stream window is, like the streaming window, so I can see all of the metrics and that kind of stuff. So it's about this big, roughly in that block. So when you guys are going, talking a lot, there's only that much space, and so it was scrolling by really fast during that discussion because there was a lot being said, and we were saying a lot that I was trying to not read the chat room and not get derailed by it, and so yeah. I saw it, and I didn't. I just saw that it was Navox, and I saw something. I saw hashtag because pudding cups, and I didn't know what it was. So
yeah, I saw that, and it was just kind of like, what? So I wrote that one down, but that's all I got, and I don't think we're going to be using what that poor Romanian gentleman said as the show title.
This is a fuck.
Because it could go very well. It could go very well or very badly. We could get a lot of listens if we title that, yeah.
And
but we may
we
get
would
some.
Not do it that way.
We get a lot of feedback, and it may not be so cheery.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a lot of feedback. Ooh.
Oh man, the things that happen during the show and after the show are just one of the best parts of my week, I gotta say. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the problem is you can't add it because of pudding cups. We didn't talk about it in the show. So
yeah, we can't put the chat room text on the window anymore. We lead to bad people saying bad things.
Exactly. So yeah, I have there was a couple things where I was like thinking, kind of chinking in my brain that this should be a show title, but then I can't remember. So I have to listen on the edit tomorrow and see if I catch it.
Yes, please edit the end of the show because yeah.
No, I chop it off. I chop the front and the end off. So yeah, unless it's something that we can really use for comedy. The whole Bubba Conan thing that we did a couple weeks ago was damn funny.
Yeah. Oh man, I need to work on his voice for things and reasons and stuff.
Things and stuff. Yeah. So, if you guys are part of our Patreon, I know there's some folks in here who are. I'm working on something right now that you guys are going to get an opinion question on. And I'm going to ask for your thoughts on it, what you think. So, patrons are going to get some inside look on some of the stuff Mark Conan and I are working on, and you guys can add your piece to it.
Not only do you get to see how the sausage was made, you get to put in a few ingredients too.
Holy crap! Holy crap! So yeah, so keep your eyes out. I'm probably going to try and do it this week because I have a draft working up already. So yeah, it's nice to be able to breathe again. I just got to say, it's pretty cool. pretty cool.
Sinus is cooperating today. And
Yeah,
everything.
even on Thursday, man, I was just like, it was still just like stuffy and blowing my nose, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. But today, much better.
Yeah,
Just the
I've
cough.
lucked out against this year. I haven't gotten sick ever since joining the Daywalkers again,
Yeah.
because spend 8-9 months out of the year with just the same 10 people, and then all of a sudden you're in the thick of it in retail, and you're just like, oh, the people and the diseases and the stuff.
Yeah.
And I just get the funk every year. Just
Oh, I know.
And I'm so glad I've not yet gotten sick.
Good luck. Please
So,
don't get it. You don't.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You don't want it.
Slash boo, everybody.
You don't want it. It sucks.
I
My
can-
stepdaughter came home with strep, and so I'm
I
like,
saw
no, I
that.
don't want that.
Yeah, how's she feeling? Is she?
Antibiotics, man, they're the best. She's
Ah.
feeling like $1 million now. But Thursday she was on the couch just moaning. So it was just yeah.
Just a general,
Yeah, I mean, she was literally on the couch just going, and so we were like, 6:30, we're like, just go to bed. I don't want to go to bed so early. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Sit here and moan? Go to bed.
Yeah.
Just go to bed.
Just go to your room and just go to bed.
Don't come out.
Oh.
Don't come out and put your germs on everything. I told Kane when he got home from the doctor after they diagnosed it, I'm like, wipe down everything. Every doorknob, every light switch, and every remote in the house gets wiped
like
down.
every faucet, every button or switch,
Everything.
everything. Yeah.
We're not getting this shit. No.
Yeah. And then and then Arcane's like, what do I need to disinfect, honey? And you go, everything. I kind of took that from
Golden.
from Maslow saying, what Gul'dan is awesome? Everything. Because everything is awesome.
No, it's not. Well, it is, but not that. No.
I was looking at the other day. Oh, go ahead. I'll
No,
what
I
were
was
you
just
say?
gonna say the number of people that troll me with the "Everything Is Awesome" song is actually really comical because they know how much it drives me insane, and it's listeners, it's friends, it's people in the guild. It's just like, oh my god, you guys, you suck. Then everybody loves to throw an awesome fish at me, man.
Uh-huh.
Just as Arcane just did now.
Yeah. I was gonna say I've had an awesome fish thrown at me once, and I was like, what is going? Oh, everything is awesome. Okay, I gotcha. Thank you for the awesome fish, random stranger.
Well, I laugh because for me, instead of people actually thinking that people actually think that I'm awesome and throwing it at me, I'm sitting there going, "You're trolling me because you know I hate that thing." And then
That means you listen to the podcast.
And then
Yes.
Asimi, who's on our raid team, he saved the last awesome fish for the Everything Is Awesome achievement to throw at me during Molten Core so he could get it.
There you go.
And Midnight just said we could go back to what did the Fox say trolling, and I'm happier with the Everything Is Awesome trolling, I will say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I don't like that song either at all. So that's one thing we both don't like. But
Yes. We have to find that thing. We have to find your Everything Is Awesome so that people can give it back to you. Because I must be like the curmudgeon of the podcast or something. Because I seem to like hate these things, and people are like, "Oh, Jules, I need you like that song. Here you go." I think it's funny as hell, though. I think it's really funny when people do that because it means that they're having some fun with me, and I love it. So.
yeah. Oh man, yeah, that is really cool. I don't have any awesome fish yet, but whenever I do,
I think I picked up some in some treasure, actually. Like a treasure happened to have some awesome fish in it, so there's some in my bag.
I was gonna say you didn't delete it automatically out of spite.
No, because I can actually use it for what they're intended to be and tell somebody that they're awesome. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I may have to find some.
I may have to find some so I can throw some at people.
Mm-hmm. I got to tell you about some parody song ideas I came up with on the drive-in today.
Oh, yay.
I have a couple of them. I have a couple of the ideas.
Excellent. I love when you have parody song ideas. I love it. All right. I think it's time for us to shut this puppet down and head out for the night. So you guys, thank you so much, chat room. We love you. Thank you for being here with us. And we will be back next week. We have a show planned for next week. and all that good stuff. Sound good? Sound good. Okay. See you guys later. /Moo!
Nice move.